needn't keep your crown on our account, you know.
I beg your pardon. I always forget that. Odd. The notion of a king not being allowed to wear his own crown in the presence of two of his own subjects.
Oh yes, bizarre, isn't it?
Most quaint. But then, it's a quaint world.
Oh, it teems with quiet fun. I often think what a lucky thing it is that you're blessed with so keen a sense of humour.
Do you know, I find it invaluable. Do what I will, I cannot help seeing the humorous side of things. For, properly considered, everything has its humorous side. Even the palace people. See here, another royal scandal by Junior's Junior. How long is this to last? By Senex Senior. Ribald royalty by Mercury Major. Where is the public exploder? By Mephistopheles Minor. When I reflect that all these outrageous attacks on my morality are written by me, at your command, why, it's one of the funniest things that have come within the scope of my experience.
Besides, apart from that, they have a quite humour of their own, which is simply irresistible.
Not bad, I think. And then there's stinging little paragraphs about our royal goings-on with our royal second housemaid. Delicately sub-acid, are they not?
My dear King, in that kind of thing, no one can hold a candle to you.
Oh, but the crowning joke is that comic opera you've written for us. A king, twopence, or a good deal less than half a sovereign, in which the celebrated English tenor, Mr. Wilkinson, burlesques your personal appearance, and gives grotesque imitations of your royal peculiarities. Oh, it's immense!
Yes, that's what I wanted to speak to you about. As a rule, I'm pretty quick at detecting latent humour, but I confess I do not quite see where it comes in this particular instance.
No? You surprise me. Why consider, during the day thousands tremble at your frown, during the night thousands roar at it. During the day, your most arbitrary decrees, pronouncements are received by your subjects with abject submission. During the night, they shout with joy at your most terrible decrees. It's not every monarch who gets to enjoy the privilege of undoing by night all the despotic atrocities he commits during the day.
Of course. Now I see it. Thank you very much. I was certain it had its humorous side, and it was very dull of me not to have seen it before. But, as I just said now, it's a quaint world.
Oh, it teems with quiet fun.
Yes. Properly considered, what a fast life is, to be sure. Oh, it's all very well. I always like to look on the humorous side of things, but I do not think I ought to be required to write libels on my own moral character. Naturally, I see the joke of it. Anybody would. But Zara's coming home today, and she's no longer a child. I confess I should not like her to see my opera, though it's uncommonly well written. And I should be sorry if the palace paper got into her hands, though it's certainly smart, very smart indeed. And Lady Sophie, that blameless type of perfect womanhood. Great heavens, what would she say if the second housemaid business happened to meet her pure blue eye?
My monarch is soliloquizing. I will withdraw.
No, pray don't go. I'll give you 50 chances and you won't guess whom I was thinking of.
Alas, sir, I know too well. Ah, King, it is an old, old story, and I'm well nigh weary of it. Be warned in time. I pity you, but I am not for you.
But hear what I have to say.
It is useless. Listen. In the course of a long and adventurous career in the principal European courts, it has been revealed to me that I unconsciously exercise a weird and supernatural fascination over all crowned heads. So irresistible is this singular property that there is not a European monarch who has not implored me with tears in his eyes to quit his kingdom and take my fatal charms elsewhere. It did occur to me in time that by descending several pegs in the scale of respect 2 younger daughters. But although, alas, this leaves me with only respectability enough for 2, there is, as I gather from the public press of this country, a considerable balance in my favor.
May I ask how you came about this?
It was handed to me by the officer who holds the position of public exploder to your Imperial Majesty.
And surely, Lady Sophie, surely you're not so unjust as to place any faith in the irresponsible gabble of the society press.
I read, on the authority of Senex Senior, that your Majesty was seen dancing with your second housemaid on the oriental platform of the Tivoli Gardens. This is untrue?
Absolutely. Our second housemaid has only 1 leg.
And how do you know that?
Common report. I give you my honor.
It may be so. I further read that your Majesty indulges in a bath of hot rum punch every morning. Is there any foundation for this statement?
None whatever. When our medical advisor exhibits rum punch, it is as a draft, not as a fermentation. As to our bath, our valet plays the garden hose upon us every morning.
Oh, spare me these unseemly details! Oh. Well, you're a despot. Have you taken steps to slay this scribbler?
Well, no, I have not gone so far as that. After all, it's the poor devil's living, you know.
It is the poor devil's living that surprises me. If this man lies, why, there is no punishment sufficiently reprehensible for him.
That's precisely it. I am waiting until a punishment is discovered that will exactly meet the enormity of the case. I am in constant communication with the Mikado of Japan, who is a leading authority on such points. Oh, Lady Sophie, as you are powerful, be merciful. Subjected to your heavenly gaze, poetical phrase, my brain is turned completely. Observe me now, no monarch I vow was ever so far afflicted.
I'm pleased with that poetical phrase, but though you put it neatly, say what you will, these paragraphs still remain uncontradicted. Come crush me, this contemptible worm. A forcible tongue, if he assails you wrongly, the rage display which, as you say, has moved your Majesty greatly.
Though I admit that forcible term, contemptible word appeals to me most wrongly. To treat this pest as you suggest would pain my Majesty greatly.
This writer lies.
He has more than his
He
eyes
leaves you say,
in a sort of a way.
then have him shot,
Decidedly not.
or crush him flat.
I cannot do that. For royal Rex, I beg the sex, oppose that conduct shady.
Good heavens, what a singularly beautiful girl.
Oh, I know you would say so.
What exquisite charm of manner, what surprisingly delicate of gesture. Why, she's a goddess, a very goddess.
Yes, she's an attractive girl.
Attractive? You must be blind. She's enchanting, enthralling. Her walk, her smile, her play of features. What an eye, what lips, what bewilderingly, dazzling, intoxicatingly. Fancies, stop me. I'm going mad, mad with the love of her. What an eye, what an ear, what shoulders.
Scaffia, compose yourself, I beg. The girl, she's perfectly opaque. Besides, remember, each of us is helpless without the other. You can't succeed without my conception.
And you dare to threaten? Oh, ungrateful! You came to me palsied with the love of this girl and implored my insistence, and did I not unhesitatingly promise it, and in return you make, out of my sight, you ingrate!
Dear me, I'm afraid we're interrupting your tete-a-tete.
No, you come very appropriately. To be brief, we love you, this man and I, both madly, passionately.
Sir!
And we don't know how to settle which of us is to marry you.
Sorry, this is very awkward.
Oh dear, Captain Fitzpatrick, what is to be done?
Leave it to me, I'll manage it. It's a common situation. Why don't you settle this in the English fashion?
The English fashion?
What's that?
It's very simple. In England, when two gentlemen are in love with the same lady, and until it's settled which gentleman is to blow out the brains of the other, it is provided by the rival clauses, the rival admirers clauses consolidation act, that the lady shall be entrusted to an officer of household cavalry as a stakeholder, who is bound to hand her over to the survivor on the Tontine principle, in a good condition of substantial and decorative repair.
When death by fire and damage expected.
Exactly.
Well, that seems very reasonable. And, what do you say? Shall we entrust her to this cold northerner? It will give us time.
Well, I'm not currently in a present condition to think it out coolly, but he is a very cool northerner. And if the princess consents?
Alas, dear sirs, I have no alternative. Under the Rival Admirers Causes Consolidation Act.
Good, then that's settled.
given to me by Lady Sophie.
Lady Sophie's an angel, but I do sometimes wish she'd mind her own business. It's rather humorous.
I see nothing humorous in it. I only see that you, the despotic king of this country, are made the subject of the most scandalous abominations. Why do you permit these things?
Well, they appeal to my sense of humor. It's the only really comic paper in Utopia, and I wouldn't be without it for the world.
If it had any literary merit, I could understand.
Oh, it has literary merit. Oh, distinctly, it has literary merit.
I see a notice of a new piece called King Tuppence, in which an English tenor has the audacity to personate you on a public stage. How can you permit this buffoon to caricature you in a pointless burlesque? My dear father, there's something wrong here. If you're a free agent, you would never permit these outrages.
So, I admit I am not altogether a free agent. I am controlled. I try to make the best of it, but sometimes I find it very difficult indeed. Nominally a despot, I am, between ourselves, the helpless tool of two unscrupulous wise men who insist on my falling in with their wishes and threaten to denounce me for immediate explosion if I remonstrate.
My poor father! Now listen to me. With a view to remodeling the political and social institutions of Utopia, I have brought with me 6 representatives of the principal causes that have tended to make England the powerful, happy, and blameless country which it is. Place yourself unreservedly in the hands of these gentlemen, and they will reorganize your country on a footing that will enable you to defy your persecutors. Shall I begin?
My dear Zara, how can I thank you? I will consent to anything that will release me from the abominable tyranny of those two men.